Dear eTwinning School, welcome back. So now it comes to build up a community of influencers. What a plan. Just to make it clear, this is one of my favorite definitions of community. Community is much more than a place. It is built out of the feeling and relationships that are so vital to humans. Vital. So just because community matters, and eTwinning is about a community, so being part of a supportive, inclusive, and capable community promotes mental, physical, social well-being more than any other factor known to the social science. Only that, imagine. And then building a community capacity to engage and to take care for the members is essential. So these are really like the frame on what is eTwinning School and what is eTwinning. And indeed, being an eTwinning school, you will need to create a community, and if not the community already there, then you need to strengthen it. How? So eTwinning School is a new change. I mean, it's a new paradigm. As you know, eTwinning is addressing normally individual as teacher, and since this year we decided to approach also now the school as a whole. Okay, so we will try to see together how we can get ready for that change. So I'm giving you now the frame that we will discover during this video. So the foundation of your community, it's really key, it's important, and it's the very first step. So as you can see here, it's clear guidance and realistic expectation. Indeed, you really need to build a trusted relationship to start, guide, and draw the expectations. And for that, you need to define a focus area, which will be the engine of change. Then, of course, and this is new, to engage policymakers, because it has been proved that if policymakers or local authority is supporting your process, it would be much more sustainable. Obviously, this is, without saying, working with eTwinner. This is really key, and they will be really useful also within your school to really embrace all these changes. Establish collaborative processes. Being an eTwinning school, I'm sure you have heard about collaboration, but again, this is really key, and when it is applied for the processes, then the magic is happening. And develop partnership, and this is also the reason why we are going during this module on really focusing on public speaking, is because you may meet different partners, potential partners, other schools, it can be like NGOs, it can be policymakers, and so on. So this is the foundation of your community. Of course, it can be much more than that, but this is what I felt very important to start with. As I said earlier, so within the process, the school community capacity is also the key. So after the foundation, we go and build with the bricks. So this is the bricks and the articulation of the house that you are doing. And this is the point that I wanted to raise with you today is, first, you need to plan. You cannot just improvise and take things on the fly. No, you need to plan the initiative to get ready for advocating towards various audience. You should also take into account the cultural differences from the schools, from the teacher, from other people that you may meet. Of course, also, you should be able to access and use the data. What I'm meaning by that is that you should monitor. You should look at the data that you have, and based on the data, identify needs. Then you will be much more efficient and successful. Then the focus on specific meaningful results, you should be always focused, and therefore the initiative plans are really important. If you don't plan, you don't know what kind of outcomes you expect, and you cannot measure, and then you can do always the same mistake. So here are the tips somehow to avoid doing mistake, or if you do mistake, at least because there is a plan, you can measure and avoid them next time. So, and then that's the two other points that we will explore much later. But systems change. So once the foundation is there, once you have built the capacity of your school, then systems are changing. And they are changing via, okay, the target system changes that align with school changes goal. And again, we go back to the planning that you have done. So you can measure and see if you are successful. And obviously, develop integrated place-based processes. What that means? It means that basically the process that you're going to put in place should, because there is no one fits for all. So the processes that you will put in place, it's really tailored for your own schools. So, and then the final main pillar, the school context. So you need to identify, so once your own school, so the foundation is there, the bricks are there, the changes are in process, then you identify other school to really like with success, with good experience, with nice collaboration, with different user and stakeholder, then you can try and speak to them and build partnership. And of course, you should also bear in mind what has happened in the past, because that can be like seen as a barrier. But if you have in mind what is the history of the schools, then you can somehow use them as opportunity instead of barriers. And based on that, having a history in mind, then you can adjust the plan. So just to recap, and this is like the virtuous cycle that I hope that you will take on board. So first you plan and build the capacity of your eTwinning school. Then you target your actions. This is really important. It's like, as I said earlier within the public speech module, is that you cannot say everything. Then you will see that the system are changing within the school. Then, of course, the widespread behavior will change as well. You will see step-by-step teachers, students, parents, behaviors changing. And finally, because you plan well, you will be able to adjust if you see that some mistakes were happening and then improve the outcomes. So this is the virtuous cycle. Ooh la la, what is this big table? This big table basically is something to help you guys. So when you will go through my slide again, I really advise you to go throughout this table. As you can see here in green, it's eTwinning schools and capacity building. So basically, it's the first step, the foundation, and then the capacity building. And then I prepare also for the system change and community context, but this would be like for much later. At the moment, we are there. We are in this phase, the foundation and the capacity building. So if you go through the question I prepared for you, it will just help you to start thinking on where you are, how you can start also building your foundation. Are you like already a step forward? I don't know, but this is just to help you later on to make your homework. But I think this guiding question will really help you to start planning to be a great eTwinning school and also embrace all the stakeholder with you. So, going back to the title of my session now is how to build a community of influencer. This is all part of this virtuous cycle. So how to empower them. This is the key. So how to empower them? You should first involve all the stakeholders from the very beginning. So how? Because they should contribute to the vision, the mission, and the objectives. If you really take them on board, you will see that the community will be built on itself. But how? Well, there is a method called VMOSA. So it's vision, mission, objectives, strategies, and action plan. So it sounds very simple, but if you apply, believe me, together with the influencer, it's you to identify them based on your own plan. So first of all, practical strategic planning tool. As you can see, it's quite simple to follow. And it's obviously a blueprint to really achieve your dreams. Yes, they will become true. And it's, of course, an ongoing process because anyway, eTwinning School, you will see it's an ongoing process. So first of all, vision. So this is the dream. So for instance, my dream as the central support service will be all schools in Europe will become an eTwinning school. The mission. The mission is the what and why. So an example as a CSS would be creating a strong network of schools in Europe to offer wider and richer educational experience for all. This is my mission. This is the what and the why. Of course, it's mission possible. Why? Because you will do these methods and you will see that it's not an easy exercise, but if you do it like collaboratively, you will see that it's mission possible. The objectives. The objective, we start to roll up our sleeves and start really putting our mind on, okay, how we're going to do that? What would be the KPI? So the key performance indicators. So for instance, mine could be by 2020, there will be an increase of, I don't know, 50% of eTwinning school in Europe. So that could be like a clear objective. The strategy, the how. So an example is, for instance, you can decide to enhance experience and competencies, remove barriers, increase support and resources. So for instance, again, this is like general strategy, but remove barriers, that should be like for every single school different barriers. In some barrier, it can be like, I don't know, a gap between the discussion between parents and teachers. For some other school, barrier would be like early school leavers. So it depends your own school. Therefore, all this homework should be done individually. Individually, I mean each eTwinning school collaboratively with stakeholders. So this is really like just an example of different strategy you can put in place. The action plan. So this is again just to guide you and help you when it comes to your own action plan. So this consists of having action steps. So what will be done? Which people will be involved? What will be the dates? In this manner, I'm really advising you like to have like realistic dates. Okay, so you should be realistic, and because your plan is fine, normally the date should be quite feasible and reachable. Resource that it demands, and the collaboration. So, dear eTwinning School, here this slide will help you to already prepare the meeting with the people that you would like to involve with you. Stakeholders such as parents, such as students, such as teachers. Of course, that can be representatives of those people. But for instance, you should start, if you want to build a community, a strong community, if you want to prepare the foundation of your eTwinning school, I really advise you to start with this little exercise. For instance, gather them and ask them what are their dreams for the schools. So for instance, the dream for your school can be to be recognized and supported by the Ministry of Education. Could be. And what would be the success? Then he comes to your school, etc., etc. So the capturing is really important. Then, as school leaders, I advise you to review and to choose. And once you will select the final statement. Once you have captured also like from various actors, believe me that the mission will be really strong, because the what and the why will be very simple to decline. So again, I remind you that the mission statement is really the what, is the essential. So essential can be, you can discover from listening at the different actors that training is needed, or advocacy, or more partnerships. Then you should explain the why. So open collaborative school, because this is somehow the definition of eTwinning school. Then you frame the mission. A single sentence. This is really important, because again, if the message and the mission is too long, then you blur it. And last but not least, review the mission statement. So it should be clear, concise, and inclusive, because this is about eTwinning. So, this is now your turn. So I would like you to send via the assignment. I would like you to think, what is the vision? What is the mission? What are the objectives? What are the strategy you would like to put in place? And start thinking really on your action plan. So I hope that all this strategy help you to frame what does that mean to be eTwinning school, and how to further go. So I hope that I will enjoy to read all your FM Mosa. Thank you very much.